I guess we'll give it 15 seconds or whatever. All right. Welcome to a new installment of the All Lakers podcast. I'm Pau Gasol, joined remotely by Ricardo Buddy Sandoval. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, Alex? I'm doing well, man. Talking Laker basketball. Well needed trip, I think, for a multitude of reasons.
Hell
And
yeah.
happy to be here talking Laker basketball with you, man.
Likewise. So let's get into it. The last time we spoke, your Los Angeles Lakers were in the in the mix for a bunch of trade deadline candidates, and they wound up just punting and not trading for anybody or offloading anybody in a trade. And instead, they were very quick to act on the buyout market, and they nabbed Spencer Dinwiddie, who started all 48 games that he played for the Brooklyn Nets before he was flipped to the Toronto Raptors and subsequently waived in a deal for former Laker Dennis Schroeder. And yeah, so now he is a Laker. He's played 2 games. So I guess, buddy, the first question I have is, what do you think of the Lakers' decision to stay put at the trade deadline? By the way, I think they're 6-1 now in their last 7 games leading up to this All-Star break. So they've looked good. But yeah,
Yeah,
what do you think, big picture?
yeah, they have, man. They have looked really good. They have been playing like the team we thought they would be coming into the season. I would say, you know, when we made that last episode, I was saying there's not really a move that they could make to really turn the tide or really put them into contenders, serious contenders. So I was really fine with them just staying pat. I mean, I know we all expected them to make a move. They didn't, which is fine when you really look at the landscape and how the trade market was, how how expensive certain players were, right? So, I wasn't really mad at it, and then when we found out that they were going to be aggressive in the buyout market, who was going to be in the buyout market, who could potentially help this team, I think Spencer Dinwiddie was kind of a no brainer. So not mad at it. Did expect them to make a move. They didn't. It's okay. I mean, they're fine right now. They're playing some good basketball, and like I said when we first started this podcast, well needed break for sure for especially on the injury front.
Yeah. Um, Anthony Davis and LeBron James are just kind of perennially on the injury report, although they don't miss a lot of games, but they're always banged up. So I'm sure they'll enjoy the break. Even though they are going to technically play a game on Sunday, they're not going to
Yeah,
try, so it's fine. Um, Meanwhile, everyone else in the Lakers is hurt, apparently. Cam Reddish, Gabe Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt all out long term with injuries. So it's a nice reprieve for the Lakers bench. Right now, the Lakers are 30-26, still the ninth seed in the West, competitive West. Utah Jazz, who were kind of in the running for the a play-in spot, seem to take themselves out of it by offloading some current talent for some future assets. So it really seems like the Lakers are kind of locked in to at least a play-in spot, but hopefully they can get into the playoffs. Like they are just 3.5 games behind the New Orleans Pelicans right now, who are the current 6th seed in the West. They're just 2 games behind the Kings for the 8th seed and 2.5 games behind the Mavericks. They've gone 7-3 in the last 10. They've won 3 in a row, and like we said, 6 of the last 7.
yeah,
Looking sharp. I'm a little bummed that they didn't make a move, but I do agree with you. And I think we talked about this last time. Like, there wasn't necessarily a move to be made that would make the team world beaters, even if they had acquired DeJounte Murray, who probably would have required like 2 draft picks to
yeah,
get. The Lakers didn't have 2 first-round draft picks to give. But even if they had somehow negotiated their way into getting him, maybe it would have cost Austin Reeves and that first-round pick that they do have available. And I don't know that that makes them that much better. It improves their defense in the backcourt. But Reeves has some upside still, and we kind of know what DeJounte Murray is, which is, all defensive caliber combo guard. So he could play at the 2, he could play at the 1 next to D'Angelo Russell in this theoretical deal that didn't happen. But it seems like the Lakers are keeping their asset pool kind of open because in the summer they'll have 3 first-round draft picks at their disposal to trade and can make a blockbuster deal for a Trae
hmm
Young or Donovan Mitchell level player. So I guess I'm okay with it. But yeah, okay. So anyway, they did that. They currently have a full roster with every spot on their 15-man standard roster occupied, they could certainly look to cut somebody and make an additional move. But yeah, so let's just talk about Spencer Dinwiddie for a second.
Yeah.
Big combo guard, mostly plays the point. He's 6'5", but you can play off the ball, you can play on the ball. Gives him a little flexibility along the perimeter. He immediately becomes the Lakers' third guard because Gabe Vincent essentially has redshirted the year. He's played 5 games
Boy.
with that left knee effusion, requiring surgery. He's supposed to be back in March. We'll see. We'll see what he looks like by then. You know, he's supposed to be that sort of point of attack defender, guard that LA lost over the summer with Dennis Schroeder departing for Toronto at the time. So, you know, it's like an incomplete grade. Like, he wasn't
Yeah.
good, but he barely played, and he was playing through an injury, clearly. So I don't really count that against him. I was really excited about his addition, as you'll recall. But, yeah, you know, you're going to need a guy to play backup guard, and that's Spencer Dinwiddie until Gabe Vincent proves that he's, like, healthy enough to do it. So
For sure.
I don't mind some healthy competition there. I thought Dinwiddie looked good. His shot was kind of unsteady in that first game against the Pistons, but it looked better the next game against the Jazz. He's averaging 8 points on 50% shooting from the field, 33.3% shooting from deep on 4.5 attempts. He's made all of his free throw shots, albeit he's only averaging 0.5 free throw shots a game, and he's averaging 5.5 assists, 1 rebound, 2 steals a game in these two Lakers games. Yeah, what have you liked or disliked from what you've seen from Dinwiddie?
Yeah, I mean, with Spencer, I just think it's great to have another ball handler there. I think the biggest beneficiary of this move is Austin Reeves. I think he's better off the ball. I think
Interesting.
he's better when you don't have to rely on him as your primary ball handler. You know, like we've seen him thriving in the playoffs. At least, just when I look back at his best moments, it was when he had the ball late in the games. Right, not really throughout the course of his entire not really throughout the course of the entire game necessarily. So I think he's better with the ball in his hands as a primary point guard or ball handler in spurts, not really having it, you know, every single time, bringing it down the floor, kind of like how we see D'Lo, kind of like how we see what LeBron does at times. So I think the biggest beneficiary is Austin Reeves. So I really like that part of Spencer's game that he brings with him. You know, he he's just another veteran guy who could plug in, who I think could really once you know you get the practices going on whenever they do practice, or you know you get that repetition. I feel like he's gonna be a perfect fit in here, and honestly, I think he is going to be the primary backup ball handler. I mean, I think this move tells us a lot about Gabe Vincent and about how healthy he's not, because you know we haven't seen him all year. What, he's played 5 games this year, and
Yep.
in those 5 games, he's been relatively, you know, not good. You know, his shooting all across the board have been bad. So I think this tells us more about Gabe Vincent and him possibly not returning, or when he does return, I don't think he's gonna. If he does return, I just don't think he's gonna be the player we all expected him to be. So I think moving forward, I think this is Spencer's role, and you know, I just think we're gonna have to get used to it. I mean, it's just it sucks because you know Gabe, I viewed it as a really good signing back then, right? He was gonna provide that punch, I mean, in a different way in a different way that Dennis Schroeder brought along, right? You know, they're not really similar players, but in terms of the ball handling, in terms of what they could do on defense at times, right? You expected that from Vince, and now you know Lakers front office, I think, just decided to move on with Spencer. I mean, he's not a great defender, right? But I think he's a willing defender, and I think you know his ball handling, his passing ability, and his shooting ability. I think that's a bit of an uptick, even though the numbers might not say so, from Gabe. So
Yeah, I like that. I think you're right. Like, obviously Vincent, when he's healthy, is the better defender,
mm,
but Dinwiddie gives you some of that playmaking off the bench that you kind of need. It's a big guard. You can play alongside Reeves or D'Lo, but yeah, it kind of helps moving Reeves off ball a little bit. And the 3-point shot hasn't been great overall this season, but he's never been an amazing 3-point shooter. Although, like, he's had some really good moments recently with the Brooklyn Nets and Dallas Mavericks. And so, yeah, I think he gives you different things than Gabe Vincent would have, but it's still like a high level third guard. So
Yeah.
I'm curious about what this means for Gabe Vincent's future in LA. It's
Mhm.
weird because it's kind of like this whole year is just I don't really necessarily count it against him, but it's also not great. And now his contract is um, kind of it's probably kind of tough to deal at this point, right?
Yeah.
He's still got 2 years left after this season for 22 million bucks. I think maybe someone takes a flyer on him, but does LA have to attach picks to get off of that contract? Does LA want to just sort of like hold him and see what happens? Or I mean, I guess it kind of depends on Dinwiddie too. Like how well does Dinwiddie perform in the
Yeah.
postseason? But I could certainly see LA trying to get off of his money. I
Yeah.
would.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a great point. There's a lot of things to that we're gonna have question marks on. How does Dinwiddie perform in the playoffs? If Gabe comes back, how is he gonna perform? If he comes back and he plays well, can the Lakers get rid of him and maybe not attach some of those picks that that you just brought up, right? So there's a lot of things to think about. I think it would be better to get an idea of how Gabe looks like if he does return to, let's say Lakers do want to get rid of him in this upcoming offseason. They do, and they don't really have to give him too much because he played relatively well. So yeah, man, there's gonna be a lot of question marks on that one. So I think it would hurt the Lakers if he doesn't play. But like I said, like with this signing that took place, adding Spencer, I think that tells us a lot for sure.
Cool. Yeah, agreed. I mean, it's not cool. It's a bummer, I guess. The Gabe
Yeah,
Vincent
yeah,
thing a
but
wash, but
yeah,
I'm with you. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing was, should LA make any further buyout moves? Now, again, like I said, right now they have all 15 spots in their standard roster occupied, so they have to
yeah,
waive somebody to do it. I guess let's run down the names really quickly of some of the players that are available that supposedly could have some intrigue. Former lottery picks of a recent vintage, James Bouknight and Killian Hayes, are both free agents now. They've both been cut by their respective teams, the Charlotte Hornets and the Detroit Pistons. And then there's some veterans out there that supposedly could become available. Davis
yeah,
Bertans, power forward, now he's on the Charlotte Hornets. Seth Curry, also now on the Charlotte Hornets, combo guard. Joe Harris, currently on the Detroit Pistons. Corey Joseph, who's now on the Pacers after being flipped from the Golden State Warriors. Patty Mills, still on the Atlanta Hawks, who are kind of locked into the 10th seed in the East.
yeah,
Marcus Morris, brother of former Laker Markieff Morris, is a free agent. Cedi Osman, LeBron's former teammate, is now on the San Antonio Spurs. Derrick Rose is now on the Memphis Grizzlies. And then Robin Lopez, North Hollywood local, is now a free agent, formerly with the
sure.
Milwaukee Bucks. So, anyway, there's those guys. And theoretically, there could be a couple other pieces becoming available if they want to be. But yeah, do any of those speak to you, buddy, as possible people? I kind of thought Thaddeus Young would be kind of a nice pick,
Yeah,
or Danilo Gallinari. Either one of those guys, sort of like a big combo forward, could help, but also like LA's a bit clogged up at the 4 and the 5 spot right now with
mhm,
some like talented guys. So I don't know that you need to offload those guys, but it's more just sort of to replace Cam Reddish, or at least to bolster the shooting at that small
yeah,
forward spot. To me, that was kind of like a wing that can defend and shoot. But those
for
are tough
sure.
to get. So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a wing that could defend and shoot. That's kind of what you need to be if you're not a superstar level player, right? So but the names you mentioned, I think it's all really going to depend on how the Lakers view Jared Vanderbilt as well, right? Like how
His
healthy is he
health.
going to be,
Yeah.
right? So I think only right now they know what how he's going to return, when he's going to return, at least like a some some target date or whatever it is. I think it has. Oh, obviously, I don't want to compare them, but similar to Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt, when they come back, or if they come back, how are they going to look, right? So I think if the Lakers decide to go out for another one, that's going to tell us a lot about Jared Vanderbilt for sure, because we're going to be like, all right, well, I think they've shown, at least it's a small sample size, but I think they've shown they could hold down the fort, at least for now, right? I mean,
Yeah, they look really good.
Yeah. I mean, Vanderbilt is their second best defender, so it's going to be really hard to try to replace that. One guy maybe here, Davis Bertan, because he is a sniper of a shooter.
Yeah,
Maybe Marcus Morris because he could bring a little bit of that edginess, that toughness to that side of the ball. Not the level of defender that Jared is
no,
whatsoever, but from this list, nothing really like screams out, yes, Rob, you need to go sign this player. I think right now, I think the team is set. I think they're fine. I think they're going to continue to find that level of chemistry, that continuity, and just pray and hope that Jared comes back to some level, somewhere with a handful of games left in the regular season, and then go into the playoffs and pick up right where they left off. Well, not right where they left off because they got swept by the Nuggets, but
yeah,
but playing that good basketball to compete with the best in the West.
yeah. I think a big issue has been that starting lineup. Again, we talked about this before, but this current starting lineup of D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and LeBron James sort of toggling between power forward and small forward, and then
Yeah,
Anthony Davis at center. It's been night and day how much better this starting five has been, and it's kind of weird that they weren't an option earlier in the season, except for a couple injury games. So
yeah,
I think they're undefeated with this starting lineup right now. Doesn't mean they're going to be that
yeah.
way in the playoffs, but just a really good crew. D'Angelo Russell continues to impress as the calendar is turned over to 2024.
Mhm.
Hachimura is such an awesome fit, even though positionally he kind of overlaps with LeBron James because they're both kind of power forwards right now.
Yeah.
But it just fits because he can spread the floor and he's athletic enough to defend power forwards, and LeBron is big enough and fast enough to at least kind of stay in front of small forwards in certain
Mhm.
matchups. So it's like, but then LeBron kind of offensively plays power forward. I don't know. It's interesting, but it's weirdly worked, and
Yeah.
I kind of like this Lakers team against, well, I don't know. I mean, the top four in the West seems kind of set. This is just a
Yeah.
quick final thought. The Minnesota Timberwolves, Oklahoma City Thunder, Los Angeles Clippers, and Denver Nuggets, in some order, seem
Mhm.
like they're going to be the top four. Phoenix is kind of lurking.
Yeah.
They won two in a row. They won seven of the last three. They're looking better. They made a couple marginal moves at the deadline to improve somewhat. So I don't hate them. I don't totally trust them in the playoffs, but I don't
Mhm.
hate them. But I kind of think the top four is the top four.
Yeah.
So of that top four, I think there's two vulnerable teams. Well, heck, actually, there's three vulnerable teams in the top four, depending on health. So
Yeah,
I think the
for sure.
Lakers could theoretically score another upset in the first round. It's tough to see them
Mhm.
going back to Western Conference Finals, honestly, but I could see them going to the semis this year.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree.
okay, so yeah, so I guess we can say so. Oklahoma City Thunder, they match up really well against them. Thunder don't have a lot of size. They
Mhm.
got a rookie center, second year power forward, and then I guess Gordon Hayward is kind of a power forward now, so he's like their bench power forward. And then
Right.
uh, I don't know. So like, yeah, so like I don't really take them that seriously.
No.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah, that's
they're talented, and they're gonna finish with a great record, but they kind of feel like the Grizzlies last year, where it's just like they're young, they're
yep.
winning a lot of regular season games, but they're gonna have issues in the playoffs when the game slows down, especially dealing with size. Now, the on the opposite end of the spectrum, though, the Minnesota Timberwolves are huge, but they hate each other, so I don't know how it's gonna translate in the playoffs. Uh,
Right.
but very good defensive team, and
Yeah,
obviously they would be favored in a series against the Lakers now, but I can see them being vulnerable, and then the Clippers, if they're healthy, would win a series against the Lakers finally.
yeah,
But like they're not going to be healthy. Kawhi Leonard's not going to be healthy playing every other day. So now it
yeah,
could be something where he gets hurt in the second round or whatever. So
yeah.
he
Kind of like how that how kind of like how that 2021 run
yeah.
went for them.
But
Yeah.
then again, in 2023, he survived what, like 3 games against the Phoenix Suns in the playoffs before he got hurt.
He actually got hurt in game two, but
Game
he
two.
finished that game.
Okay,
But
there
I
you go.
I think he finished that game, and then yeah, after that it was just he was gone. He was gone.
Yeah, so like it's just hard to. People are so bullish on the Clippers now. It's just, have they not noticed that Kawhi Leonard cannot survive the playoffs anymore? Like
Right.
they're not winning anything
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah. Insane.
Uh,
Insane.
then if it was the Denver Nuggets, yeah, they would destroy the Lakers, obviously.
For
But
sure. Yeah.
I guess you could say maybe Michael Porter Jr. or Murray gets hurt again, but like I'm not gonna count
Mm,
on that.
right.
Rooting for the Lakers, so yeah, but I could see for sure Timberwolves, Thunder, and Clippers all being vulnerable against the Lakers, which is kind of funny. So yeah, like
Yeah.
the
That's
West
weird.
is weird this year.
No, I
But
mean, look, like we've seen the Lakers play their best basketball. If
yeah,
they play their best basketball when it matters the most, I mean, I would bet against. I, I I would be fine with them playing anyone but the Nuggets, if I'm being honest, in the West.
oh,
You know, because we've seen this team play at their highest level. The last time we've seen them at their best consistently, well, besides this run, was in the play-in tournament. They looked unstoppable in the play-in tournament when it kind of feels like they need something to kind of like play for them to get like their juices flowing, right?
yeah,
Because immediately after the play-in tournament ended, that's when things just went down the gutter. You know, they couldn't defend anymore. They couldn't shoot the three anymore. They couldn't do anything. Everything just seemed like everything was going downhill. They're starting to find their niche a little bit. Hopefully that continues. Hopefully this break, I think this break is gonna help them more than hurt them. So yeah, man, like if this team is playing up to par, if this team is looking like the team we all thought they would be, anyone other than the Nuggets moving forward, I'm and then maybe the I don't know, maybe the Suns, but yeah, like they don't really have the size. I mean, KD, Bradley, he's played what like maybe like less than
like
20 games.
30 games or something. Yeah, not many.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
the in-season tournament. You mean in-season, not playing in-season tournament.
oh yeah, sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, in season tournament, yeah,
but we got it anyway. So
yeah.
yeah, like I agree. I do. I mean, it's tough to see them winning every round as the
Hmm.
underdog,
Yeah.
But like for sure, the first round, I could see
Hmm.
it. I'm not saying that I would
Yeah.
favor them. Thunder, yes, I think that they would just beat the Thunder straight up, even if Thunder
Yes.
were totally healthy. The Clippers, if they were healthy, the Clippers would win. Timberwolves, if they were healthy, and
Hmm.
like Karl
Yeah.
Anthony Towns was getting along with Gobert and Edwards and stuff, I think they
Yeah.
should probably win too. But tough series, and like I don't trust them necessarily. So
Hmm.
I'm just saying they're vulnerable. Yeah, but I'm not saying I favor them in any matchup against except for the Thunder in the first round. But
Yeah. That
it'll be
makes
a
sense.
fun closing stretch, and they really have looked so much better with Hachimura in that starting lineup now. So
Hmm.
we'll see what happens. But
Yeah, man.
yeah, like you, I like the Dinwiddie edition, and I don't love any of these buyout guys for the
Hmm.
Lakers specifically. So this is probably the team, assuming Vanderbilt is healthy, and
Yeah.
then
This.
we can survive without Vincent.
Yeah. I mean, we've shown
So
that he's playing
yeah, so
like less than a quarter. So, yeah,
right,
for
yeah,
sure. Yeah,
so
man. Just March is going to be a tough stretch. They're pretty much like the entire month is going to be tough. So as long as they're relatively healthy, they bring back Cam, Vando comes back. I don't know what, maybe like a month from now, right?
ugh,
Who knows what they could do?
yeah,
But yeah, just as long as they're healthy, man. I think they're playing great basketball right now. D'Lo's career high in assists, 17 assists in his last outing. So
right,
I think they're trying to they're finding something. They're finding something. They're giving Laker fans hope.
yeah. It was weird because I wanted like the Lakers to make a move, but I also was enjoying D'Lo, so I kind of was happy to. He just like seems like he's meshing with everybody. He
Yeah.
and Reeves have a really good relationship. It feels like, and yeah, I kind of felt bad for him if he was moved and
Oh,
had a
for
deal,
sure. Yeah, yeah. I feel the same way.
But
It's like
yeah,
your it's
and
like
it's
your
been fun to
yeah,
watch.
it's like your head tells you one thing, your heart tells you another. But you know, I think right now it was a right move to stand pat. At least for just you didn't want to do all that again, right? Bring in Dejounte, try to build chemistry with him, trying to like start all over, and then luckily right now it looks like it was a right move because D'Lo's playing playing like D'Lo.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, yeah, is Dejounte Murray better than D'Lo? Of course, but like that trade wouldn't have happened. It would have been
Yeah,
Reeves. So that's like a different conversation anyway. So like, I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know that I'd want to give up Reeves for Dejounte. Now Reeves isn't like Dejounte this year, but in a couple of years, maybe Reeves is like a pretty high level player.
right.
And not that Reeves is ever going to be a good defender. I don't know about that, but offensively, he might become
He
like
could
a
be,
I don't know Tyler Hero type or something.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So we'll see. But anyway, yeah, exciting times for the Lakers. Strange times for the Western Conference. We shall
Very.
see what happens. But be sure to check us out on
Mhm.
alllakers.com, and we'll talk soon.
Yep.
Go Lakers!
Go Lakers.
All right, now.